Hello there, thanks for joining us here on New Vision TV. This is the Handshake with Million Komdisha. I have with me Paul Bushalizi. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Paul, recently the Minister in charge of investment issued a stern warning and said, do not entertain fake investors in the country. What did she mean? Was she trying to confirm our fears that we actually have fake investors?
Well, it was an interesting statement coming from the Minister of Investment. We don't know who she was warning. But I think the context was that she was talking at the inauguration of the board of the Uganda Investment Authority.
Yes.
And she was, I think in the same event, they was talking about how UTL, they're going to have to need to find new investors. So that's the context, I think, in which she was speaking. But yeah, it's true. I mean, we have a lot of, I think you can actually call them sham investors, people who use the back door to get in on deals and then don't deliver. I think they're hoping maybe to just flip the deal. So if I can get a company and then I just go and look for a new buyer and I make a difference on the side, which is the last thing we need in this country.
True. Does that mean we don't vet our investors when they come into the country? Who is in charge of vetting? Who does what when it comes to investors?
I think obviously the message was to Uganda Investment Authority, the new board especially. And look, I think Uganda is in a very tricky situation. Let's say it's in a tricky situation. One, you don't have a big enough market that you would attract, like, let's just say the Fortune 500 companies of America, the GEs and the, Apples and Microsoft directly come here because your market is not big enough. So then what normally happens is that the people who are interested in you are much smaller players, and many times they can be cowboys, if you can call them that. That's our challenge. So the challenge for us really is to, of course, on a much broader level, is to widen our market, and that's where the East African community comes into play. Right. And two, to really insist that, okay, well, even if we don't have much market, the people who come here have to be bona fide people who are willing to make a business of it, to stick with us for the long haul.
Where is the problem?
Well, I think the problem is that...
for us being a small market, but yeah.
I think the problem is two sides. So two sides of the deal. One, you have the cowboys who are willing to cut all sorts of corners to get in. Right. And then us who are so susceptible to corruption, we'll take... I fear that we can't even sell our parents to... I don't know about desperacy, really, because the people who are taking these bribes are not, sort of as if they were not going to get their next meal. So there's an element of greed and just total lack of patriotism, to put it even very bluntly.
So does her statement also include our local investors? Does it take in our local investors? Do we have any fake local investors?
No, yeah, we do. We've seen it before in previous deals. It was more, I'm sure it happens even now, but we've seen it like in road contracts. Right. Somebody takes a contract to do a road and just doesn't do it, doesn't do it well, if you're lucky, or just doesn't do it at all. We used to see it also in the privatization days. Some local investors are given a company, they do nothing about it, eventually it's just run into the ground. So it's not only foreigners who are fake. You have our local briefcase investors who just... The intention is not to make anything run, just to make a killing.
So now that the new board is on, what are the measures they're going to... What is new? I mean, it's the same old thing. The old board goes, new board comes. What new things should be done?
Yeah, I think the saddest thing for us is, as a country, is with such boards, there is no leadership. So the minister herself, I'm sure she has, but how far does she follow it through? Has she set them an agenda? For example, maybe the world is changing. Maybe we need to put more emphasis on getting knowledge companies rather than manufacturers. I'm just thinking, what do these people need? The incentives for the knowledge-based company are totally different from the incentives of the manufacturing company. What do we need to give them? What do we need to guarantee them? There are all sorts of stuff. And the world is changing. We can't be, UIA was probably started about, what, 20 years ago or so, to 30 years ago. I think it can't be operating the same way it has all this time.
I've always thought that people on such boards are just enjoying the situation.
Allowances.
That is me. I don't know how other people think or how you
Well, I mean, given the output of many of these organizations, you know, people will not be faulted for thinking that way. I mean, if you're sent to do a job and you're not doing it, but you're getting paid anyway, so people wonder, so what's the point? Yeah. So yeah, it's I think it's a valid criticism, and one they should pay attention to.
Absolutely. We need to see some work getting done.
Serious work.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.